Good evening and welcome. My name is Kathy Mullins, and I am proud to serve as the Vice President for College Advancement and the Executive Director of the GRCC Foundation. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Tonight, we have the privilege of honoring Judge Sarah J. Smolinski, class of 1977. Sarah is an awesome example of the stellar leaders in our community that got their start at GRJC, GRCC. The same can be said for every one of you that are wearing your alumni ribbon tonight. Thank you so much for representing GRCC as well as you do in our community. We're happy that you're here to celebrate and honor Sarah with us tonight. I would like to acknowledge our students and scholarship recipients that are joining us for the festivities tonight. Students, please wave or stand if you're sitting so everybody can take a look at these beautiful faces. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to introduce you all to the future leaders of our community. I hope you're all having a wonderful time, and for those of you that are connected and engaged with social media, I encourage you to take photos this evening and upload them to your favorite social media outlets using, this is the first time I've ever said this, hashtag Scholarfest 2018 or hashtag GRCC. Before we begin our tribute to Sarah, I'd like to first acknowledge the GRCC Board of Trustees, the GRCC Foundation board members, any elected officials that are in the audience, as well as retired trustees and board members in the room. Would you please raise or stand and be recognized? Thank you for everything that you do for our community. We have so many people to thank for tonight's event. But first, how about a huge round of applause for Kevin Velo and Nick Ayub of Yellow Brick Road Dueling Pianos. And I will just say, Kevin is also a GRJC alum. Thank you to the Scholarfest Honorary Committee members and the Foundation board members for their great work fundraising around tonight's event. And to our sponsors for this evening. You will find the list of sponsors in your program and scrolling on the screens here on stage. Tonight's lead sponsors include our title sponsor, Spectrum Health, our diamond sponsor, Amway, our platinum sponsor, Meyer, our gold sponsors, Dr. James V. Bezzetta family, Fifth Third Bank, and Steelcase. Thank you so much to all of our lead sponsors. In total, we had 32 organizations and individuals sponsor tonight's event, and we are grateful to each and every one of them. Now, just like a family reunion, I am proud to say we have 3 generations of GRCC presidents in the room tonight. We have President Olivares, President Ender, and last but certainly not least, the man I would love to introduce to you all, Dr. Bill Pink, GRCC's 10th president. No, do you want your?
Yeah. How'd you know?
You're welcome to come up here.
Tess, Good evening. Oh, come on, good evening. So look, this is a party tonight. It's not one of those sit down and put your nice black tie on and sit and have some little sit down meal and sit down dessert and listen to someone for about an hour and a half talk about stuff. This is a party tonight. Because here's why, and let me tell you why it's a party. Because I want to ask, and this is who we're partying about, I want to again ask all of our GRCC students who are in this room tonight. Here in a second, I'm going to ask you guys to stand. And I want, if you are sitting or standing next to our students, I just want you to make sure you tell them how they are really rocking it out in their classes, for this school, for this city, and for this region. Because our students are the very best students that you will possibly find. No offense against you, President Eisler. I know you're here. But what's cool about that is a lot of times some of your students are some of our students, which is awfully nice. But our students, what they do and what they go through to get an education, and if you hear their stories, so often their stories make you sit there and think, and how did you get it done? And for us who work at GRCC, it's okay because we sometimes say the same thing. How did you get it done? But they get it done. And so I want you as our crowd, as our guests tonight, I want you to give the largest, most arousing applause for the true folks of the hour, our GRCC students. Please stand up. Thank you. You guys mean a lot to us. You are the reason why we're here tonight. So I have a few things to say. I'll be brief. As brief as I can possibly be. But I need to, first of all, start out by saying thank you, and I want you to give me a big help in welcoming who I believe is the most beautiful woman in this room tonight, my wife, Lori, right over here. Please give her a round of applause. And I know that Kathy did this earlier, but I really want to reiterate this because I am a deep believer that where I stand today is truly on the shoulders of folks who have come before me. And as blessed as I am to be the president of Grand Rapids Community College, I am not foolish enough to think that anything and the things that I have stepped into to celebrate and to take the baton and run with it, I am not foolish enough to think that that has anything to do with me, but everything to do with the two men that are in this room right now, who are the two past presidents of this institution. If you would please give another round of applause to Juan Oliveras and Steve Ender. That means a lot to me because of how important it is that we see what our past is and what our future is. And to all of those who are, and I always like to point this out. I know we have some GRCC alumni here tonight, but I know also we have some GRJC alumni in the room tonight. So if you are a JC alum, please stand and be recognized tonight. So as mentioned tonight, I want you to feel relaxed. I want you to have a good time. But I also want to point out that we are also here tonight to celebrate one of our proud alum. Someone who has been in this community and I'll tell you, 3 years ago when I came to Grand Rapids, I remember hearing this name, Judge Sarah Smolinski. I remember hearing that name. And I remember people telling me about, she's one of yours. She is a JC alum, and she's done all these things in terms of this community. And then but at that point, I hadn't met her. So about a year ago, I was at a gala here in town where I was just seeing my good friend Bill Mans. His gala at St. Mary's, their gala last year, and their gala was really cool. Had a lot of music, had a lot of things going on, a lot of walking, just a really good social event. But let me tell you what I saw that night. I know you're laughing. So on one of the floors of that building, they had a band there that was just playing some really good music. I mean, it was good stuff. They had some Motown going. I was thrilled. But then I see someone out there on the dance floor. And I mean, this girl was rocking it out. And I mean, she had a groove that moved real smooth. We have pianos. We may find out tonight. So I said, Kathy, who is that? She said, oh, that's Judge Sarah Smolinski. She's one of ours. She's a graduate. And at that point, I thought, I got to go out here and dance with this woman. This is good. So that was my introduction, because then Kathy said, oh, you've got to meet her. So I went out, and I met the judge, and she really had about 2 seconds for me. Yep, good to meet you, Pink. And she went at it again. Impressive moves, too, by the way. That was my introduction, but I want to tell you, as far as what I know about Judge Smolinski, I think it is so good that we can honor you tonight. It is so good that you being part of this GRCC family, that means a lot to us. And that's why tonight is about looking at and celebrating you and what you have done for this community and how you represent this institution. But I must tell you, in preparation for this event, I am told that our media folks found some video footage. And I really can't introduce it well enough other than just to say, take a look.
My name is Gary Schenk. The date is March 27, 1977, and I'm here interviewing GRJC student Sarah Smolinski.
It's Smolensky.
Oh, sorry, Smolinski. So, Sarah, tell me a little bit about yourself. What is your family like?
Well, I think it's probably like most people's.
Is it a very big family?
Well, my parents had a few of us, I was one of 10. Catholic families make a baby, then they do it again. We had so many kids, I knew I had to stand out. The smartest, strongest, and by far the most of that. I went to Catholic Central before it was cool. There was a principal, but you know I ran that school. I had what could be called unbridled ability, combined with benevolence and charming humility.
Wow, with that many siblings, you probably have to compete for attention.
Yeah, that's why I learned how to juggle to stand out and be more popular.
Wait, you think that juggling makes you more popular?
Yeah, if you're good at it.
So you can juggle?
Yeah, watch.
Wow, that is memorable. So tell me a little bit about basketball. I heard you're so good at basketball because you're so tall.
Tall, I think there's more to it. First things first, let's get one thing straight. GRJC is partly why I'm great. But I wasn't just taller, I was also a baller. And in the classroom, a self-proclaimed road scholar. Being good on hardwood will make me great in court. Get a bachelor's at Michigan and handle civil tort. I'm a wild child, my soul can't be tamed. I'll even flash a crowd at a Wolverine game.
Wait, you plan to flash the crowd at a U of M game?
Maybe. I don't know. But it would be a good story I could get a lot of mileage from.
That would be a good story. What would be an even better story would be you graduating from Michigan, getting your law degree from Cooley, and then becoming a judge for 30 years.
Whoa, are you planning out my life for me?
Actually, maybe mine. Although I don't think I could be a judge.
Yeah, you don't seem smart enough.
No. Although that could just be a part of what you accomplish. I mean, imagine, if you live a life of generosity and integrity, how many organizations would recognize you?
Gene King Leadership Award, I'll win it. Chief Judge of the District Court, I'm in it. Most influential woman, 6, 8, 10, and 12. I'll take the odd years off just to spread the wealth. Generations of felons will come to thank me. I'll give them second chances, they can go free. Cause when they take the stand and give me their plea, I'll say, you'll do time at GRCC. Thousands you sent on parole. Sarah, now if just all of them would enroll. Sarah.
So, given that you'll be a confident and articulate leader, just imagine all the nonprofit organizations you could raise money for.
Yeah, if I'll only be that generous. I'll bet some of them don't even exist today in 1977. Be it grow, Dominicans of the GR Bar. With me at the mic, their funds will go far. Pilgrim Manor, St. John's, Kids Food Basket too. I'm sure I'll bring it in for the GR Public Schools. Women lawyers, senior neighbors, and rave need to grow. I'll even pull my sister in for a 2-woman show. Got a council foundation, just look to me. And even hospice will count on MC Smolensky. Sarah, oh, your future's so bright. Sarah, we're proud to honor you tonight. Hey, you know where I'm here. Oh, hey, 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 hey. Go, go. Girl, get it, we know. Sarah Smolinski Hills.
What are you laughing at? This old thing? Judge Sarah and I go to the same hairdresser. You know, the younger me was a lot thinner. I put this on because I thought you might recognize me from the video. But all good things have to come to an end, especially that. So good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, and I'm sure there are many of you, I'm Gary Schenk, a proud GRCC alum. And actually, although I attended JC, I got a degree in '87 from CC after I finished law school, but it's another story. As I said, I'm a proud alum. I'm a retired GRCC Board of Trustees member, retired chairperson, and the 2009 Distinguished Alumnus, much to my surprise and great joy. 15 years ago, right about this time of the year, I had the honor of introducing Judge Smolensky as the 2003 GRCC Distinguished Alumna. Since then, I've been called upon at least 3 other times, and perhaps more to introduce her at various events. Due to her stature and contributions to our community, introducing the judge is something that happens quite often, so it should be no surprise that I got more than one chance to introduce her and to become her designated introducer. The caliber of her service is something that is unique, and going back over my old notes on those other introductions, it reminded me that her serious contributions make introducing her a worthwhile endeavor. When there is a cause that needs an advocate in our community, if you look closely, somewhere in the middle of that, more often than not, you're going to find the judge working away, doing all she can to make whatever cause that is successful, and to be something that gives everybody something for the common good. In addition to her service to our community, Judge Smolenski has truly set the standard of jurisprudence in the 63rd District Court. Remember that, Judge. It's a high bar. You know, it's not just from her longevity there, which is impressive in and of itself, but the impact that she has had is the result of her integrity, her intelligence, and her empathy. Now, integrity, intelligence, and empathy are attributes of many a Grand Rapids Community College alum. When an institution graduates students numbering in the hundreds of thousands in one region and contributes nearly $1 billion annually to our economy, you can bet that the college deserves credit for much of the great things and many of the great people that we've produced in our community. Yet, despite so many of them having shared these virtues, few, a precious few like Judge Sarah, stand out in their activism and their service on behalf of many organizations and people in need. I know we will strive to express the values we learned as students, but many of us also strive to live up to the best examples of our fellow alums. And for those like me who made a living in the practice of law, and believe me, I made tens of hundreds of dollars practicing law, Judge Smolenski has set the bar very high. And she has done the same for anyone trying to become a better human being. She models that every day, and even from the bench, she shows that she expects the best from people who come before her, or who have the good fortune to work with her, or to call her friend. Every one of us who is connected to this college is by extension also connected to the community. Many of us have become successful in our own way, and we can and should give credit to the institution that made it possible. But we must also give credit to those individuals who have inspired us all along the way, and who continue to inspire us. And so I, like many of you, give credit to Judge Smolenski for such inspiration. Well, I think I've said all I have to say. I don't have any more wigs, don't have any clever lines, but what I do have is the singular honor of presenting to you this evening an extraordinary woman, the woman of the evening. Wait, woman of the evening. I did not write that, Sarah. I wrote the rest of this, but somebody else put that in there. The woman of the evening. My dear friends, here is my colleague, my friend, a fellow GRCC distinguished alumna, and a great, great friend of the college, Judge Sarah Smolenski.
Wow, that was beautiful, beautiful introduction. I've taped it, so I'm going to use it for my funeral. I hope that that video can be played again at my funeral. This is going to be a long funeral. Gary, thank you so much. That was really, really special. I am overwhelmed, which doesn't happen very often, because I love this kind of stuff. Like, a microphone and an audience is pretty much heaven to me. And when I saw Dr. Pink down in front, I thought, no way in hell I'm getting on that stage. I'm getting on the stage. He's 6'8". I'm up here because I got to have this. I wanted to first start. I mean, there's so many thank yous, and we only have the place till midnight. And I told my great colleague, Judge Jeff O'Hara, I told him, now really, I practiced on him a little bit today, and I said, I got a few lines, let me know what you think. I didn't try this one, but I did tell him, I said, really, I'm gonna be brief. He said, He was so kind to me. But my dad always said when I was gonna be a lawyer, he said, Sarah, charge by the word, not the hour. The first thing I wanted to do is introduce you all. Many of you know Linda Burpee, my spouse. Now, Linda and I have been together 29 years, and 2 years ago, we were allowed to be married. And I didn't know if I was going to talk about this tonight, but I thought when I introduced Linda, this is what I think about. Because 2 years ago, during the week of our wedding, Channel 8 came out to interview me. And I was nervous. I was not nervous about getting married. That was a certainty. But I was nervous about what they'd ask and what they'd say. And in the climate, even though a lot has changed and it is for the better, most days, kind of, not really, in our little world. I remember the guy said to me from Channel 8, why do you want to marry Linda? And I said, if you knew Linda Burpee, you'd want to marry her yourself. So Linda has been everything. Linda has been the best of everything, and she is the most kind, compassionate, loving, wonderful person, and she's the brains behind our whole operation. And 28 years ago, she got me elected because she put everything in a 3-ring binder, and that's how we got elected. And Linda Burpee, I owe it all to you. Now, it's cute because I do want to just say to GRCC, thank you. Thank you so much for being so inclusive and supportive and loving, because it was a lot of years I never could say anything like I just said. So we have come a long way, baby. We still have a long way to go, and Fred Wooten's here, he'll tell you that. But I wanted to just quick say that everything Dr. Pink said about the community college and GRCC and the pride that Gary feels for being an alum, and my sister Rob and my sister Jane, and 9 of the 10 siblings that I have all went to Grand Rapids Junior College, community college. But I say this in all sincerity, I owe my life to Grand Rapids Community College because our parents met there in 1936. So quite literally, I owe my life because my mother and dad, my mother was a 36 graduate of Ottawa Hills, my dad was a 36 graduate of Catholic. They met at Grand Rapids Junior College, and the rest, my friends, is history. I loved the video. It was so great. I want a copy of it for sure. I wanted to just take a minute and say that you never really know the impact that people have on your lives. Now, I started at St. Stephen's, and I have one of my teachers here. St. Stephen's Catholic Schools, we were called the Trojans. Go figure that one, okay? I was a Trojan from St. Stephen's. Yeah. Okay, sister, I'm not trying to embarrass you. But my third grade music teacher, who today is a dear friend and I love her to pieces, Sister Mary Ann Ferguson, is here in the front row. And I'm telling you, I found one of my grade school report cards and it said music, A-. And a few years ago, I said to Sister Mary Ann, what gives? Like, what's that about? A-. She said, Sarah, it was a gift. So I go from being a Trojan to a cougar at Catholic Central, literally a cougar. I was the cougar mascot. I was on the field. I was dressed up. And today, I have one of my teachers, Sister Robert Ann Erno, who taught me everything about math. So now I can say 30 days in jail, 60 days in jail, 90 days in jail. Sister Robert Ann, right here. The junior college coaches that I've had over the years that I was there, Marcia Teesinga, you saw on the video, she called me from Florida on Saturday. Joyce Buckley is here today, was such an instrumental part of our lives. Growing up as kids, like I said, you don't always know the impact that you have on people. The professors that I had at junior college, DePrimo for philosophy at 8 o'clock on a Monday, get real. And I lived to tell about it, you know? Heidenberg and all the different professors that I had over the years for zoology and science and different classes that I knew I was going to be a lawyer since 4th grade. I knew it. But junior college helped me become the person I am today. And honestly, it has been a dream to be part of junior college, which I keep saying JC because that's what it was to me and to my family. When I think about my sister Rob, she's here tonight, was in the video, and really, you guys pulled off a great surprise because that was great. Roberta was a sophomore at junior college when Phyllis Fratschke, the teacher she had. Rob loved this textiles class. She loved it. She owns a mitten company today. Wool mittens, P-Pack Mitten Company. Okay, that professor at junior college said, Roberta, I want you to stay after. I want you to fill out this paperwork. Rob said, what's this about? A scholarship. Really? I never thought of a scholarship. Yeah. Rob got a full-year ride scholarship, 2 years at Michigan State, and got her degree in home economics. Because that professor at junior college, CC, took the time to talk, not to say you weren't talented, Rob, because you are. So I go from a Trojan to a cougar to a Raider, and I'm so proud to be a Raider, so proud to be a Raider. And then I'm proud to say I finished as a Wolverine. And particularly, yeah, go blue, baby. Go blue. And I played ball on the women's team at Michigan, but I'll tell you, my best athletic years, I mean this without question, even though they're in the Final Four, my best athletic years were here at the junior college. They helped me become the extrovert that I am today. So I just wanted to conclude by saying, I had such a pleasure seeing and meeting so many of the students, the scholarship recipients in this reception tonight, and I'm sure I'll visit for more. So many of them that came up to introduce themselves. The ones that are teaching nursing. Yes, Justice is here. Fortune is here. We had students that are studying engineering and going back to school after they've been away for 20 years. Students that wouldn't have always the opportunity but for what you do. And it is so appreciated. I wanted to give a good shout out to Mary Reed, to VP Catherine Mullins, Aaron Egmond, everybody that was on the committee. I have a little tiny present that I made for Dr. Ender. You're here, and I appreciate it so much. I was feeling a lot of pressure because last year Karen and Steve Enders were the recipients, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's a hard act to follow. And I made a little something for you to remember in your retirement. So Dr. Ender, I do a little pottery. I always say that I do it for relaxation and calmness. I don't do pot, I do pottery. I don't throw pottery at each other, I throw it on the wheel. So I'm joking with kids when I tell them, don't do pot, do pottery. But And then Juan Oliveras and Mary, I just think of you so many times and all you've done in our community and what you've done not only for Junior College CC, what you've done for Aquinas, what you've done for our community, a little present for you. And Dr. Pink and Lori, I just loved getting to see you. And it's true, Lori, I met your husband on the dance floor. And any good moves he has, I'd like to take credit for those. The foundation board members, everybody on the committee, thank you so much for putting together such a beautiful evening. And for the skit, my gosh, it was so beautiful. The video was wonderful, and you really went to great lengths to produce that. Thank you for everyone that was involved in that. I so appreciate it. Thank you to our sponsors, the sponsors tonight that made this happen. So many of you, it's here to celebrate the philanthropic nature of tonight's event, raising thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to help these students that otherwise really may not have the opportunity. Or when they do put themselves through school, they're so far behind in debt. This just releases that. And so I'd like to introduce my sister Jane to come up, because Jane and I are going to just talk a little bit about how important this whole fundraising aspect is for GRCC.
Actually, Sarah, do you remember who was voted class dancer at Catholic Central? Yes, moi.
Could we see a few moves?
No, you can't. My orthopedic surgeon advises against that. It's not very often, and I just want to take 1 second and relish this moment, because it's not very often that I get to come up to the microphone and shush my little sister.
And I am chomping at the bit.
Well, you're chomping at something, but... So, I'll tell you a funny story. Come over here. Sarah and I are 22 months apart.
I'm younger.
I already established that fact, Your Honor. So, I go into the... Do you see a similarity? Do you hear a similarity?
I'm not talking. Oh,
I know.
okay.
Our movement, I can't explain it. It's something that happened, but it has been a curse for me. I'm in the deli Schnitz yesterday, ordered a sandwich, going through line, and I'm all of a sudden getting my drink, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't give them my name. How? And if you've been at the Schnitz during lunch rush hour, you know, there's a ton of people, right? It's busy. I'm thinking, I'm not going to get my sandwich. They didn't take my name. All of a sudden, a guy comes over, Sarah, here's your sandwich. I said, well, right, if it's on her tab, I'll take it. Anyway, listen, I want to briefly say that, and I want to pull from President Pink's comments earlier about this night, really, sorry to say, Sarah, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but it's not about you.
Right, I know it.
So why don't you go over there?
Right.
And it's not about her, but it is about drawing from our past in honoring the future. And that's what I want to ask you all to think about. Hey, you suggested a lot of good memories, and I will concur that the best years in our athletic history came at CC. The camaraderie, the coaching, Joyce Buckley, you're here. You know what? I will say thank you. Thank you to Joyce. Thank you to Marcia. Just awesome. And that's what this night is, an opportunity for all of us to say, to think back to those classes, to those instructors who had an impact on our life, whether we knew it at that time or not. They impacted us for the better. And it is our opportunity tonight to honor those instructors by saying thank you and signing your name on the bottom of your check. Say thank you to a teacher, but in the same token, offer an awesome opportunity to the next generation coming through. Because that, dear friends, is why we're here. To honor the past, to remember and to have great laughs, and then to do it forward for these individuals going through their education now. Because they will be up here
Yes, they're our
laughing at
future.
themselves.
Right.
And in fact, I know one of the
Yes,
recipients.
when I saw that video, I thought, oh my gosh, this was a lot of work. We have so many wonderful programs at Grand Rapids Community College. You know, we've got all these different programs where they teach our kids. Our culinary students are going across the world to get their jobs. We have theater students, and you met one of them, Sydney. Sydney's here tonight. Sydney is really here tonight. Come on up. You did awesome. You really did. Now, honestly, Sydney, she looks a little bit like I did, although I was never as tall as she is. I was that thin at one point, but Sydney is a typical scholarship recipient here at Grand Rapids Community College, and she is in theater, as you could well see, because that rap was something that I couldn't believe. You really did it. Oh yeah, you girl, you go. That was all made up right there. So I could have. Oh.
Once again, let's relish in this moment where I get to shush my little sister. So I'm going to ask you to pick up the envelopes that are on your table, give it some thought, reflect on all the great instructors that you've had and the great memories, and put a thank you note in this envelope so that kids like Sydney and future students can continue to thrive in their education. Good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, one last thing. We so appreciate everybody that's here, and we know that you've been contributors, and it's so appreciated. Let's hear it for Jane. She's number 40 on that photo. She was, yeah, and then all the siblings that we had, they're, still around, and I'm just excited. You can tell, I'm very excited. Thank you very.
Once again, let's relish in the moment.
Yes.
Say goodnight.
Thank you very much. My mom always said, when you're through talking, Sarah, get off the stage. Thank you very much, GRCC Raiders.
Let's say woohoo for Sarah one more time. Thank you, Sarah, Jane, and Sydney. Sydney, you said you couldn't dribble. You dribbled. Good job. I'm pleased to announce that thanks to all of you in this room, we raised $232,125 for scholarships. And I have no doubt in my mind that that number is just going up after Jane's big push. Thank you. Your support of student scholarships is truly the reason we are here tonight. Sarah is a perfect example of the caliber of students we turn out. And in case you weren't aware of it, 85% of all of our graduates stay right here in this community. So every student, 85% of students we graduate, they're here forever. Sarah's proof of that, and we are so happy for that. We're truly creating the community leaders of tomorrow, and your support of a student today enhances the quality of life in West Michigan for years to come. As I said earlier, every dollar donated, so every dollar you write on that check tonight, that is going directly to student scholarships. And there truly is no better investment than to invest in the education of these awesome young people you've been interacting with tonight. So, remember, we take cash, we take checks, and we take credit cards. For those of you who weren't able to see Sarah's face during the video, know that we have captured it all live on camera this evening. We will be posting this along with the video to our social media outlets in the next few days. So find and like us. Again, that's something I never thought I would say. You can find us on social media using the hashtag Scholarfest 2018 or hashtag GRCC. We will be using this to post event photos and the video as well as our Sarah Cam. Sarah, that's pretty cool. Sarah Cam, yeah. So again, a special thanks to the Yellow Brick Road Dueling Pianos for their performance this evening. They'll be back up in a little bit. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the GRCC media team for their work on the awesome video. A special thank you goes out to Noah DeSmit for shooting, editing, and adding the music. And I'd also like to say a big thank you to Class Quant. These two men do a phenomenal job of taking an idea, so I just sit at my desk and think, I wonder if. And then we have the conversation with Class and Noah, and they both look at me. They do it, though, so it's awesome. And believe me, it's not an easy task, so thank you very much. I tell them every day, you always make us look good, so thank you. In addition to our media team, I'd also like to send another huge thank you out to the very talented GRCC alum, Mr. Sammy Publes, and his friend Joe Anderson for their writing and rapping skills. So that rap. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank our very own Cindy Dornbos for playing young Sarah, and thanking her also for recruiting her 15-year-old brother Parker to play Gary Shank. Sydney is a true testament to the talent we see in our students every day, and we are so proud of her. Sydney told us just last week she found out that she was accepted to the University of Michigan. So, without even realizing it, she's following in the footsteps of Sarah and Gary. And another piece of information, little piece of trivia in case you didn't know, University of Michigan, that's how we got our start. GRJC was started by the University of Michigan as a feeder school, so that's why maize and blue, right? Maize and blue. Okay. So, thank you for including Parker. We look forward to having Parker follow in Sydney's footsteps and walking the halls of Grand Rapids Community College. And last but not least, I want to thank my foundation team. Tonight would not have been possible without their work. Mary Reed did a fabulous job leading this effort, and I would appreciate it very much if you'd all join me in giving her a huge round of applause. So, as you can see, this video was a true collaboration, and we are so grateful to have each and every one of you supporting and representing GRCC. Now that concludes our formal program for tonight. I want you to hang around, enjoy each other's company, listen to this music. Maybe Dr. Pink and Sarah can come up and dance for us. Maybe Dr. Pink can sing. He sings. So there's lots of good things to look forward to. Still plenty of food around the back perimeter area, so take advantage of that. And know that there will be an encore presentation of the video at the end of the evening, so be sure to stay and watch it one more time. We appreciate you all so very much and hope you will make sure to support a student before you go home tonight. Remember that every dollar makes a world of difference to our students, a world of difference. Thank you all for coming.